Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Listen Up Girl podcast, your go-to everything happening in the LGBTQ plus culture, news, and stories that actually matter. I'm your host, Zach Randles-Friedman, and I am back home in my studio to record this episode and not in some random hotel room in New York City. So hopefully the sound quality in the video is a little bit better. Today, we have a mix of culture, entertainment, and a little bit of wait, what? We're taking Hollywood risks, pop culture icon moments, and how queer culture is continuing to move into spaces it hasn't always been welcomed in. So let's get into it. First, starting with Joe Locke. We're starting in Hollywood because Joe Locke, Heartstopper's Charlie Spring, may be stepping into the boldest role yet. He's rumored to be leading a new sci-fi horror film called Baby. In the premise, a young male sex worker who becomes pregnant with a mysterious, possibly alien entity. Yeah, that kind of film. Now, nothing has been confirmed, but Locke posted, "That's a wrap, baby," and fans immediately started connecting the dots. And honestly, this feels intentional because Locke isn't playing it safe. From Heartstoppers to Marvel to stage work and now potentially this, he's building a career that pushes boundaries. And whether this ends up being brilliant, shocking, or totally chaotic, people are going to be watching. Next, we go to the icon and the queen, Madonna. She showed up at the Abbey in West Hollywood and turned a birthday party into a full cultural moment. She told the crowd, "Take your freedom," and then teased Confessions on the Dance Floor Part 2, a sequel. It is dropping July the 4th, and if you know, you know, because Confessions wasn't just an album, it was a moment in queer culture. So if you can tap into that again, this summer might belong to Madonna. Again, it always does. Next, heated rivalry wins big. A gay hockey romance just won a Peabody Award, one of the most prestigious honors in television. And it was praised for something really important, promoting non-toxic masculinity. Let's pause on that. A gay sports story being recognized for defining masculinity, that is huge. Because for years, stories like this were dismissed as too niche, but clearly that is not true anymore. Now we go to the grinder in politics. This is amazing, this story. A grinder party in Washington, D.C. is now sparking conversation. During White House Correspondents' Dinner weekend, Grindr hosted one of the most talked about events. And yes, politicians were there. Now, this could be progress, queer spaces becoming part of mainstream politics, but it also raises questions. Because Grindr has always been personal, private, so when it enters political spaces, it changes the meaning, and people are still figuring out how they feel about it. I wonder if Grindr's servers crashed again once they had this White House Correspondents' Dinner, but who knows? Everybody was too focused on the quote-unquote assassination attempt, which, yeah, just to get your ballroom. Anyway, next story is drag as resistance. In Brooklyn, over 1,000 people gathered for a drag performance that felt more like a statement than a show. It was emotional, symbolic, and intentional. And moments like this matter because drag has always been more than entertainment. It's expression, it's protest, and right now it's also resistance. Love that. Now, book bans surge. And speaking of culture, book bans in the U.S. have hit a record high. Over 6,500 books targeted in a single year, and many of them LGBTQ+. And here's the thing. These books aren't just stories, they're representation, their identity, and removing them doesn't erase those experiences. It makes them harder to understand. So now we move on to soccer. Josh Cavallo. After a difficult season, Josh Cavallo is ending on a high. 14 matches, unbeaten at home. Momentum, confidence, but his biggest moment didn't happen in the field. It happened in conversations. He revealed that players have quietly opened up to him about their sexuality. Private moments, trust, and that's something that is rare in men's sports. Because when Cavallo came out, it came out with a cost. Discrimination, threats, pressure, but now something is shifting, not loudly, but quietly, and maybe that's how real change starts. So that's today's episode, from Hollywood risks to cultural wins to ongoing fighting for our visibility. There's a lot happening, and we're going to keep talking about it. I am your host, Zach Randles-Friedman. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a few friends. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. and leave a review on the podcast platform that you're listening to this on, because reviews help more people get this podcast. That is so important. Thanks for listening. I'll be back tomorrow with more LGBTQ plus news.